Oh my God, I literally just said this. I just said this in, I believe, the very last video that I made. When Klay Thompson scores for the Warriors, they win. The game is over. If you let Klay Thompson score for the Golden State Warriors, you're going to lose that game. It's just period. It's just facts. It's been that way. Like I said, I've been a Golden State Warriors fan, but I literally just said this last video. If Klay scores, the Warriors are gonna win. It's different. I don't know what it is about the Chase Center, but when Klay Thompson is having a good game, that crowd goes crazy. They erupt. It's almost like they actually get more excited when Klay scores than they do when Steph scores. That's just and rightfully so because when Klay gets hot, he erupts. He's the most streaky shooter in NBA history. Between him and Steph, and I would say Klay is proven to be more streakier. So, I mean, he's just living up to exactly what I said last video, maybe the video before that. But when Klay scores, the Warriors win. Bottom line, it looks like they're up by like damn near 30 at this point. And so they're going to tie this series up. But it's what I said, man. I told you I was never no bandwagon Warriors fan. I know the Warriors, and I literally just said it last video. If Klay gets, if I'm not saying his average 20. I'm saying you let him get 30 plus 28, anywhere to 28, really anything over 25, 26, 27. If you let him score that much over the course of the game, the Warriors they're gonna win. They're just gonna win because at that point, then now you gotta account for Klay. You have to take him extremely seriously because he's explosive at that point, and you have to keep your tabs on Steph as your main scouting threat. Just like overall, like you gotta pay attention to Steph as the main scouting threat. So if you got Steph that you gotta pay attention to, and Klay's capable of getting shit. He scored 60. There's no telling he could have scored 70 or 80 in the game where he got the 60 and three quarters. So shit, I mean, that's an automatic L, especially if Steph's not having a bad night. I mean, that's just mathematics shit. You just gotta add it up at that point. You got two players at that point, you know, that can combine for 100 if they want to. So that's game over. Ain't nobody else in the league that explosive. Ain't nobody else in the league that capable of blowing a game wide open like that and just at any given moment, just there's no other offensive team in the league that could just erupt like that, just have a volcanic explosion. You feel me? Like, but it goes to what I said. I've been telling you that. I've been saying that. I know these Warriors. That's how they get down. If Klay has a good game, you're gonna lose that game. I'm not saying Game 6 Klay. Yeah, Game 6 Klay is an issue too in itself. But I'm saying outside of even the Game 6 Klay, a lot of people don't acknowledge just that even when he has a high scoring game, outside of the Game 6, if he has a high scoring game, period, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose if he scores 30 plus. I actually want to find the stats on that because I bet you I promise you they got a 90%, if not higher, 90 to 95% win percentage when Klay scores over 30 points. That's facts. They never lose if Doggy gets over 30. It ain't happening. Bottom line. So, but yeah, it's like I said, the series is tied up. I don't know who I got overall. Well, no, I do know who I got overall. I might have to roll with the Warriors. Um, I actually think, like I said last video, the Lakers match up with them even better. Like, they have a better matchup advantage, let's be honest. But, You can't really trust AD to. Last I checked, he had 4 points. 4, 4 points, bro. Like that's crazy. That's not even, bro. That is a joke for Anthony Davis. 4 points. It's bad when you see somebody like Joker or like Embiid or somebody or Giannis with 4 points. But he's the most talented scorer out of all of them. Between him and Embiid, you're dropping 4 points in a playoff game? Yeah, I don't know what to tell y'all Laker fans. That's just some depressing type shit. That's depressive energy right there. That's for real. That's that depression vibe. 100%. That is not the vibe that you want to be on in game 2 in the second round of the NBA playoffs. Like that ain't it, doggy. Like it's just not. So Warriors tied up. I don't know. I think the series is going to LA now. If I think it's in the Staples Center at this point. I'm gonna look at some of that post game activity to see what it looks like. I know, but I mean, stat wise, I know Klay scored over 30. I know, and nobody else really did much. That's how true. See, that's how much this game just backed up my last statement. Like it, like super backed up what I just said in the last video. If Klay scores, the Warriors win. Now, nobody else on the roster really scored much. I don't think anybody else broke 20 for the Warriors. I don't think anybody scored over 20 points for the Warriors, and they still win. They still get the W. It's because I told you when Klay scores, this team wins. That's how he's more infectious. Dude is just infectious for that team and for that. Steph's not really infectious. You know what I'm saying? He don't really inspire his teammates because they're so used to seeing him just do what he do. You feel me? Like that's just Steph gonna do what he gonna do, and the team knows that, so they just sit back and watch. But when they see Klay exploding and getting off like that, oh, they get inspired. They get excited. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just to see some that type of eruption that doggy can have. It's inspiring. And he's just a clutch player, man. He's clutch. He's not, and it's not just a late game clutch with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's that type of player. I remember somebody described Reggie Miller like this a long time ago, but Klay Thompson's got has the same character on the court as Reggie Miller. Klay Thompson is one of and Reggie Miller are those two type of shooters. They score, they make anxiety shots, anxiety killers. When the whole arena is filled with anxiety and it's back and forth and it's a neck and neck game, they'll hit one or maybe a couple shots to allow your crowd, the home crowd, to breathe again. And they'll do it all throughout the game. Klay will do this all throughout the game. If it's an anxiety game, that's where the claim game 6 is. Game 6 is one of those anxiety type games. Right before a potential game 7, Klay Thompson goes big, and that's super clutch. You're clutch all throughout the game, not just down the stretch in clutch moments in crunch time. They do it all throughout the course of the game in anxiety and high pressure games. Klay will through quarters 1 through 4, he'll just be hitting timely buckets all game long. He's a super clutch shooter. He's a professional clutch shooter. Bro. That's why he's able to beat Game 6 Klay, and they call him that. He's like that in clutch moments when it comes to shooting the ball. So, anyways, it's like I said, it's Aquarius King. I'm gonna get at y'all next time. Adios.